I've eaten that Jack Dempsey's. That's a good place. It's still on Poland Avenue.
She loves the crab legs.
I'm not doing a lot of things. Thank you, Al. Good to see you. You too.
I'll be right back. All right.
Alright, Scott, I'll be back. Yes, Bob. Did you see a picture of your great-grandfather?
Oh, they're using the page numbers from there.
All of a sudden, the big book isn't listed. All right, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Grab a prayer book right outside the door there. You're right.
I know we used to sit there. So good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Marcus, Jean's birthday is Sunday. Jean's birthday is Sunday.
It is. 39. 60.
Don't worry, you have a backup.
They were flying to start. I appreciate
Did everyone get a prayer book on your way in? If not, I bet we just happen to have a few more out there. All right, those who are at home. Hey, I just saw you. Can you hear us okay at home? Okay, good.
Yes, you can.
You can see us? You can see Cantor
Yes,
right
you
now?
can.
Most of the kids.
Excellent.
Cantor is waving.
I'm gonna turn this down. All right, that's working. We are on the live stream. Okay. Everyone who's watching from home is muted, no offense. I think we're about ready to begin. Welcome, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It is nice to see you. How does it feel to be in the chapel this evening? Good. We hope that those who came early got a bite to eat at our pre-service Oneg Shabbat. If you didn't, you're on your own. You got to wait till after services to go home and have something to eat. Come back next week. We are glad that you are here with us on this special Shabbat. Hinei ma tov u'manaim shevet achim gam yachad. Behold how good and how pleasant it is when we come together, dwell together, and celebrate happy times together.
Shevet achim gam yachad.
good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine matov u'madai, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'madai, shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom, welcome. We're so glad that you are here with us, whether you are here with us in person in the Five Women Chapel, whether you are joining us on Zoom or live streaming on the website or on Facebook, however you got here to services, we are so glad that you are here with us. Let's continue to welcome each other and Shabbat, page 142, Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Koachem l'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bakuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seidchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We turn now to the lighting of our Shabbat candles on pages 120, 121. This evening we will be celebrating our May birthdays. We're going to invite two of our May birthdays to help us with the candles. Mary and Judy, if you'll come on up. Page 120 and 121. And you're going to start over here?
Right up here.
Up here. Perfect.
One of these two readings.
So do it together. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our day be among those who kindle light.
Good. How do you like the candles?
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu v'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Page 123, we join with the cantor in the chanting of our Shabbat Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש זכר לציון מצרים כי בנו בחרת אותנו קידשת מכל העמים ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת amen.
We continue on page 126. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. Together, to love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. Page 138, we continue with Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala yadai 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 pnei Shabbat mekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yadai 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 pnei Shabbat mekabela. Shamo v'zako b'dibor echad yishmianu el hamyuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad l'shem u'tiferet v'li tila Lecha Dodi likrat kala yadai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala yadai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha ki mekor ha'brecha mirosh mikedem nesucha sof mahaseh b'machshava tehila Lecha Dodi likrat kala yadai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala yadai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela Boi v'shalom ateret bala gam besimcha u'v'tzola tochenu ne'am sekola boi chala boi chala Lecha Dodi likrat kala yadai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala yadai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela
We turn in our prayer books now to page 264, and we rise for the Baruch Hu. 265. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah potzeach she'arim, uvidvuna meshane iti, umachalif et hazmanim, umesater et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mibnei choshech, v'choshech mibnei or, Uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavtil bein yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu, le'olam va'er, Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Page 266, we read responsively. In each age we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment we are addressed by the world. In each age, we are challenged by our ancient teaching. At each moment, we stand face to face with Torah. In each age, we add our wisdom to that which has gone before. At each moment, the knowing heart is filled with wonder. In each age, the children of Torah become its builders, who seek to set the world firm on foundation of truth. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
On the heels of this week of us celebrating Yom Ha'atzmaut, Israel's Independence Day, it's kind of cool to note that some of the pieces we do in our service are by Israeli composers. The piece Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu tonight is composed by Tzvika Pick. You know this piece, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, and we also sing his Shahachianu, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. It might be surprising to you to know that that's not what he's known for in Israel. Tzvika Pick is an Israeli pop singer who was born in the 1950s in Poland. And he studied at the Conservatory of Ramat Gan, and he performed at age 15. And he's best known in Israel for a long string of pop hits throughout the 70s. And in the early 70s, he even played the lead part in the Hebrew version of Hair. Would you ever Now, in the 80s, the taste of Israel's music kind of changed from pop to rock, and his career kind of took a dip. But in the 90s, he emerged again with dance music arrangements, and he even composed a song in 1988 that won the Eurovision Song Contest. So that's Tzvika Pick, and that's who we're going to sing tonight with our Shema. Rabbi? Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Vahed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Vahed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Please be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'kol levavcha u'b'kol nafshecha u'b'kol me'otecha v'hayu adavarim ha'eze asher anochi metzavaka hayom levavcha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha Uvlachtecha v'derech, u'shoktecha uv'kumecha, u'kshartam le'ohot ha'yedecha, v'hayu letotafot bein einecha, u'chtavtam על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוקיכם. אני אדוני אלוקיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוקיכם.
We continue responsibly in the middle of page 269. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all together. Yet that oneness eludes our grasp as imperfection and evil abound. Before our eyes there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness. There is evil enough to break the heart. There is good enough to exalt the soul. When will redemption come? Grant everyone what we claim for ourselves. Long ago we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High.
We learn God's presence
redeems time and event. So we celebrate this
time makes for freedom.
We join in our song of freedom, Micha Mocha, page 270.
Micha mocha vayhei matonai, Micha mocha neda b'kodesh, Nora tehilot osefele, Nora tehilot osefele, Malachotecha ra'u vanecha, bokei ayam nifnei Moshe.
Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'ha'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim, ufros aleinu sukat shalomecha. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. We join in the covenant of Shabbat, Vishamru.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lahasot et ha-Shabbat lehodot ha-berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lahasot et ha-Shabbat lehodot ha-berit olam. Beini uvein bnei Yisrael, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Vishamru bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lahasot et ha-Shabbat lehodot berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim va'et haaretz. Vishamru bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lahasot et ha-Shabbat lehodot berit olam. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Vishamru bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lahasot et ha-Shabbat lehodot berit olam.
Page 273, we rise for the Amidah.
Adonai sefetai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu v'Imoteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imohot, Umevi Kegula Livnei V'neihem, Lemhan Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Abraham Be'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol, Atah Rav Hoshia, Mechalkel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayei HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Ve'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Mikamocha Bal Kivurot, Umito Melach, Melech Memitu Mechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'nehimanata L'chikayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol, Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Kadoshim B'chol Yom Yechalucha Selah, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
You may be seated. We continue in the middle of page 278. We read together in the English, "May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in such a way that this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh Shabbat. V'tzei Adonai Eloheinu b'Amachai Yisrael, u'tfilatam b'ahavat kabel, u'tehila ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Be gracious, Adonai, our God, to your people Israel, and receive our prayers with love. O may our worship always be acceptable to you. Fill us with the knowledge that you are near to all who seek you in truth. Let our eyes behold your presence in our midst and in the midst of our people in Zion. Blessed is Adonai, whose presence renews Zion. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir shechinato l'tzion. Page 163, our prayer for giving thanks, the Hoda'ah, we read responsively in the English. For the good, page 281. I'm looking at two sets of pages. It's also on page 163 if you're using the other prayer book. Back on page 281. For the good in us which calls us to a better life, we give thanks. For the strength to improve the world with our hearts and our hands, we offer praise. For the desire in us which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful. For life and nature, harmony and beauty, the hope of tomorrow, all praise to the source of being. For all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. Together, O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, v'lechana lehodot. We continue with our prayer for peace on the very next page.
Shalom Rav, O Yisrael Amcha, Kasim Leho. tasim le'olam. Ki atahu melech adom lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adom lechol hashalom. Shalom ra'ov Yisrael amcha tasim le'olam. Shalom ra'ov Yisrael amcha tasim le'olam. V'tov b'necha levadech et amcha Yisrael v'chol etu v'chol sha'ah b'shlomecha. Shalom ra'ov Yisrael amcha tasim le'olam. Shalom ra'ov Yisrael amcha tasim le'olam. Tasim le'olam. Tasim le'olam.
We take a few moments now for our own silent prayers.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, Yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'yimru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu 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 ve'al kol Yisrael. You know, this Oseh Shalom, written by Nurit Hirsch, you could probably walk into almost any synagogue anywhere, and this song, this melody will be familiar. But where and when did this song first get heard? Believe it or not, it was not heard and sung till a Hasidic music festival in Israel in 1969. And it came in third. What came in second and what came in first, I don't think anyone remembers, but they remember Oseh Shalom. Nurit Hirsch has composed over 1,600 songs. And you may not know, but this is a big deal when you are representing your country for the Eurovision Song Contest and you win. This is a big deal. And Israel, as small as it is, has won the contest several times. And Hirsch's song, not only was she the first Israeli composer to participate in the contest, but she conducted the Eurovision Orchestra in her own orchestrational arrangement of the song, and she was the first woman in Eurovision history to do so. That song, not Oseh Shalom, she wrote another one which was called Somewhere in English. That song placed fourth, but in 1978, her song that she composed won first prize. And that's Nurit Hirsch, who we sang her Oseh Shalom. Rabbi?
Page 371. As we gather together this Shabbat, we give thanks for all of the blessings in our lives. And now we focus on the blessing of health. We think tonight of members of our families, friends, and neighbors who could use some healing in their lives right now. The prayers of our congregation go out especially this Shabbat on behalf of Leah Bela, Edward Lefko, James O'Neill, Joel Webb. And I ask if you have additional names of those who could use some healing, health, wholeness in their lives. I invite you to say their names out loud now. We think of all of those we've named out loud, those we name in our hearts. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal all those whom we've named, all those who are suffering here at home and around the world. May God swiftly send them a refuah shlema, complete recovery, refuat nefesh, refuat guf, renewal of body, soul, and mind. As we join together now in our Misha Berach prayer for healing in the middle of page 371.
Source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Yisheberach imotenu mikol habracha those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Since this is the first Shabbat of the month of May, we have gathered to celebrate some special times. We're going to celebrate those who are celebrating anniversaries and birthdays. Now, earlier, we had at least two couples celebrating a wedding anniversary in May. Anyone celebrating their wedding anniversary in the month of May? Oh, I've got one online. That's what I thought. And that's what day? 30th. What, Vern, why did you look to Richard? You weren't sure there for a second. Excellent. For all who are celebrating their anniversaries. It's at the end of the month, you'll be okay. Misha Berach Avotenu v'Imotenu Abraham v'Sarah Yitzchak v'Rivka Yaakov Leah v'Rachel. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebecca, Jacob, Leah and Rachel, bless all of those couples celebrating their wedding anniversaries in the month of May. God of all generations, we give thanks for the many blessings that have graced their lives and marriage over the years. May they look back on the day of their union with thankfulness. May this joy be with them always, their way of life loving and good, as they continue to help each other to bear life's burdens, as well as share in life's joys. In joys and trials alike, O God, you have been with them, so may you continue to be with them, guiding and sustaining them in the years to come. Grant them, O God, a peaceful dwelling where contentment and love find a resting place. May they maintain a home in which glows the light of faith, one which honors our membership in the house of Israel, our people. O God, grant that they may grow old together in health and in love, and live in gratitude for their marriage always. As together we say, Amen. And now we turn to those who are celebrating birthdays this month. And if everyone who's celebrating a birthday in the month of May, if you'll rise for a moment so that we know who you are. Exactly. Oh, but be careful with that movable pew. And Jean, are we allowed to tell everyone, Jean, which birthday this is? Can we tell everyone this is your 99th, or should I keep that to myself? Jean is celebrating on Sunday her 99th birthday. And Mary just had her birthday. Judy's birthday is coming up. Shai's birthday is in 2 weeks. I have a birthday in another week. For all of us who are celebrating birthdays this month. Oh, and online too. You guys can't. Misha Berach Avotenu V'Yemotenu Avraham Yitzchak V'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel V'Leah. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless all those who are celebrating their birthdays in the month of May. God of days and years, author of life, our times are in your hand. We thank you for the blessing of life and for all that enriches our lives. As we come together at Temple this Shabbat, we gather in thankfulness to share in the happiness of our friends and family members who are turning 1 year older this month. Be with them always as the joy of their life. May they be blessed with health and happiness and with the strength to overcome sickness and sorrow. May they be blessed with many more years, ad mea v'esri, and may their lives be filled with an abundance of blessing. Baruch atah Adonai mevarech hashanim. We praise you, O God, who blesses the years. We join together, you may be seated. We join together in our Shechianu prayers. We give thanks to God for giving us life, sustaining us, and bringing us to this very special time.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehecheyanu v'kibanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehecheyanu v'kibanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
May is a good month for birthdays. This week, we celebrated another very important birthday, and that is the birthday of the State of Israel. Just yesterday was Yom HaAtzmaut, Israel's Independence Day. And it's not just a holiday for those living in the land of Israel, but Yom HaAtzmaut is an important day for Jews all over the world. We unite as we think about, honor, and celebrate Israel, all that Israel has accomplished, and as we join our prayers for the land and people of Israel. A week ago, we observed Yom HaShoah, our Holocaust Memorial Day. Before we can celebrate Yom HaAtzmaut, we mark Yom HaZikaron, Israel's Memorial Day, where the entire country stops to remember those who have lost their lives in the defense and creation of the State of Israel. And then we celebrate. The modern State of Israel was officially founded on May 14th, 1948, or the 5th of Iyar, 5708, which makes Israel how old this year? 74 years young, exactly. And Israel is still growing, learning, developing to this day. But we mark the birthday not on its English day, but on its Hebrew birthday, the 5th of Iyar, just as we mark all of our Jewish holidays. I'm going to invite you to turn in your prayer books, please, to page 538. There are many innovations in this prayer book that I really, really like. Last week, I wanted to show you some of the special readings and prayers for Yom HaShoah. Today, I wanted to take a few of the readings chosen for our celebration of Yom HaAtzmaut, Israel's Independence Day. And in the bottom of page 538, we have words from Psalm 122. Israel might only be 74 years old, but it's been a part of our lives, our history, for more than a couple thousand years. And there, in the words of Psalm 122, contains the prayer that we've always said for Jerusalem and for Israel. One always makes an aliyah, a pilgrimage. One goes up to Israel because it holds such a special place in our lives. And traditionally, this is what we say. We say, we are going up to the house of the eternal. Our feet stood inside your gates, O Jerusalem. Jerusalem built up a city knit together. Sha'alu shlom Yerushalayim. Let us pray for the well-being of Jerusalem. May those who love you be at peace. May there be well-being within your ramparts, peace in your citadels. For the sake of my kin and friends, I pray for your well-being. For the sake of the house of the eternal our God, I seek your good. And there on page 539, we find the words that Theodor Herzl wrote, these words which are now over 120 years old. The Theodor Herzl, the father of modern Zionism, wrote, Im tirtzu ein zo agada. If you will it, if you dream it, then it is no dream. We can make it happen. Then quoting from the national anthem, Lihiot am chofshi be'artzenu, be'eretz Zion, Yerushalayim. The dream to be a free people in Zion, Jerusalem, in the land of Israel. There is no place on earth like Jerusalem. On page 540, from the Midrash, we read at the bottom, there is no beauty like the beauty of Jerusalem. 10 measures of beauty were given to the world. 9 of them were given to Jerusalem. And one was given to be divided to the rest of the world. Naomi Shemer wrote her song about Jerusalem, a Jerusalem of gold, Yerushalayim shel zahav, v'shel nechoshet, v'shel or, halo lechol shiraich ani kinor. Jerusalem of gold, built of copper, built of light for your songs. I'm a fiddler by day and night. For anyone who has spent time in Jerusalem, as you see the sun setting, it lights up the city, and we truly feel like we are in the presence of a Jerusalem of gold.
Harim salukayahim v're'apuranim nisabaru atabahayim im kol pahamonim uvtadei lan v'heaven shavuya b'chaloma hayir asher b'dat yoshevet uvili b'koma Yerushalayim shel zahav v'shel nachoshet v'shel or halo lechol shirai ani kinor Yerushalayim shel zahav v'shel nachoshet v'shel or halo lechol shirai ani kinor. Your ancient trees all stand in silence as though a Muskin dream. Your fragrant breeze now comes to meet me as light begins to gleam. My yearning heart has long remembered the sun that gilds your face. Jerusalem, how I have loved you, how we have been embraced. Yerushalayim shel zakar, v'shel naposhet v'shelor, halo lekol shirayik ani kinor. Yerushalayim shel zakar, v'shel naposhet v'shelor, halo lekol shirayik ani
We pray that this may be a year of prosperity, a year of wholeness, a year of peace and blessing for Israel and all who live there. We'll conclude our service in a little bit with our prayer for Israel and the singing of Hatikvah. Now we turn to page 586 and we rise for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabbat l'tol hakol, l'tet gedula le'otzeh le'breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, ve'lo osamanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo santelkenu kahem, ve'gor aleinu kekol hamonam, v'na'achnu korim, u'mishpachavim u'motim, lifnei melech, Motei Hamlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, V'nemar v'haya Adonai, L'melech kol haaretz, V'yom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, U'shemo,
Please be seated. We continue on page 534. Again, before Israel can celebrate its Independence Day, the country stops to remember all of those who have lost their lives in defense of Israel. The over 24,000 soldiers who have died defending Israel. And so this special reading for Yom HaZikaron, Yizkor, we remember. Remember our people who cannot escape past tyranny and hate. May their memory be more than a distant shadow together. For their dreams left unfulfilled and lives taken too soon, we remember. Remember our brothers and sisters whose sacrifice gave birth to the state of Israel. May their courage be our inspiration and our strength. For life cut short and vision unrealized, we remember. Remember the fallen of the Israel Defense Forces, the victims of terror and tragedy. May the darkness of their loss not obscure the light of peace. They were in love with the land and in love with life. For the agony, the tears, the mothers and the fathers, for the children who were, and for the children yet to be, we remember. We turn now to page 598. As we think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, as we mourn the loss this week of Johnny Bestov Strauss, we think of those for whom we are in Shloshim, including Robert Feinstein. We think of those who died at this season in years past, those whom we've taken into our hearts with our own, as we lovingly recall the Artzeiten now of Hortense Israel Aaron, Bernard J. Aronson, Lucille Jacoby Blum, Catherine Cross Bressler, Mary Anna Feibelman, Rudolph Garfunkel, Dr. Benjamin R. Henninger, Nettie Hirsch Kern, Saul S. Kerner, Joseph Oliver LaPrairie, Jeanette Sack Levy, Joellen Levy Kupperman, Samson Lushtek, Ernestine M. Metzger, Warren Gustav Moses, Leonard Reuben Silverstone, Carrie Gutman Stieg, Teeny Pressburg Toops, Herbert Leon Weinberger, Audrey Burka Wormser, Morris Wright, Hermina Finger Ziv. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be an everlasting blessing as we rise now to recite the words of Kaddish Yatom on page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabba, v'alma tivrach yirutzeh, v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala u'vizman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehe shmei Rabba mevarach leolam ulamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, Shmei Tekudesha B'rechu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, ta'amiran alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi Shlomo Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Please be seated. Before I call up our president, I know that this was not an easy week. As we watched the news of the day, sometimes I have to turn off the news of the day because it seems like it's only bad news. But I wanted to share with you a statement put out by the Central Conference of American Rabbis. This is the rabbinic body of the Reform movement in response to the leaked draft of the Supreme Court. The CCAR is deeply disturbed by what appears to be the decision of a majority of justices of the United States Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade. Though we are aware that the leaked draft by Justice Alito in Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health is a draft at this point, cause for concern is real. If it were to become a Supreme Court decision, the leaked draft would lead to the severe restriction or elimination of abortion rights in about half of the United States states. The CCAR proudly participated in a brief submitted to the Supreme Court in support of the respondent, Jackson Women's Health, and of reproductive freedom. Until the final moment of a Supreme Court decision, Reform rabbis will continue to advocate for the preservation of Roe v. Wade. If indeed a decision similar to the leaked draft is the court's decision, CCAR rabbis will continue to oppose state laws that restrict abortion rights, ones that are being written in Louisiana as we speak. Abortion access is part of comprehensive health care. Overturning Roe v. Wade will not stop abortions. What it will do is increase the occurrence of illegal, dangerous abortions, thereby causing unnecessary deaths and suffering. We know that low-income women and all gender non-conforming individuals who can become pregnant will suffer the greatest burden of state abortion bans triggered by a reversal of Roe v. Wade. Moreover, the decision apparently contemplated by a Supreme Court majority would violate the religious freedom of Jews and others whose religious traditions, like ours, permit abortion. The CCAR, its members and communities will not rest in our ongoing struggle for reproductive liberty, working with the National Council of Jewish Women, Jews of other movements, women's and LGBTQ advocacy groups, interfaith partners, and all Americans who join this work for individual bodily autonomy. The Central Conference of American Rabbis, in the strongest terms, urges the Supreme Court not to restrict abortion rights and certainly not to reverse the groundbreaking and liberating decision in Roe v. Wade. If, however, the leaked opinion is in fact a harbinger of a Supreme Court decision soon to come, CCAR rabbis will grieve, and then without delay, we will continue to act. I do want to let you know that on May 17th, there's a Jewish rally for abortion justice being held in Washington, D.C. It is being sponsored by the Reform Movement, by the Religious Action Center, and by the National Council of Jewish Women. For those who can participate in person, again, that is Tuesday, May 17th. It'll also be you can join the live stream and be a part of this as well. For more information, I encourage you to go to the Religious Action Center website, religiousactioncenter.org, for more details. And now I'd like to call our president, Alan Cohen.
Thank you, Rabbi, for sharing that statement with us, for your statement this week that you sent out, and for all of the support for reproductive rights, and for all of us to control our own decisions. Judy Gainsbourg and Amy and John Haspel sponsor our Bima flowers this week in memory of Hermina Fingers Eve and Cliff and Arvilla Kern and family, in memory of Nettie H. Kern and Clifford H. Kern Jr. Also, we thank Pamela and Robert Stieg and family for sponsoring Bima Flowers this week in memory of Carrie G. Stieg. We have Torah study tomorrow morning, beginning at 9:15 a.m., followed by our Shabbat morning service at 10:30 a.m. On Wednesday, May 11th, the ADL is hosting the Torch of Liberty reception, at which our very own Rabbi Ed Cohn will be honored for his years of service to social justice causes in New Orleans and across the South. The reception begins at 6 p.m., and you can find the link to purchase tickets in this week's Temple e-Blast. Our next senior luncheon in partnership with Glade Waves will be on Thursday, May 12th at noon, featuring special guest, local author Patty Freeman. RSVPs can be made through this week's e-Blast or by contacting the Temple office. And lastly, a reminder that the Brotherhood Bingo is returning in person this year with Brotherhood Bingo and Barbecue on Saturday, May 14th at 6 p.m. Bingo cards and raffle tickets can be bought through the Temple website or by mailing in your Brotherhood Bingo return card. And I want to say this has been a lovely evening tonight. And tonight we had amazing numbers of toddlers running around the building. We have wonderful, wonderful faces here in person, and Shabbat Shalom.
We want to thank everyone for joining us. Again, we varied the schedule a little bit. We're going to do this throughout the month of May. Beginning at 6 o'clock, we invite you to join us in the auditorium, have a bite to eat, a glass of wine, and let's wish each other a Shabbat Shalom before the service. Services will continue at 6:30. Now, this Sunday is a very important day. In addition to being Jean's birthday, it is Mother's Day. And in this week's Torah portion, Kedoshim, we are commanded that you must honor and revere Mom and Dad too, but Mom comes first here in the book of Leviticus. So it's a mitzvah. Remember Mom this Sunday and do something nice for her. Next Friday, we will be celebrating our confirmation students. Our Shabbat service will begin at 6:30 and will include our ceremony of confirmation. We are very proud of the confirmation class of 5782, our 5 students and their families. Everyone is welcome to join us. Services will be in the sanctuary. Again, that is next Friday, the 13th. And Friday is confirmation. Saturday is the Brotherhood Barbecue and Bingo. That's beef and chicken barbecue, just for the record. Sunday will be our end of the year religious school picnic at 11 a.m. at Audubon Park for all of our Chavurah at Sinai families. Again, we're so glad everyone could be with us this Shabbat. A special welcome to Vic and Kathy, am I allowed to say that? All the way from Washington State, also known as Cantor Coleman's brother and sister-in-law. We're glad that you're here with us. Now, Cantor is with us, but yesterday he was thinking about his classmates there in New York. One of the many casualties of COVID, it was May of 2020 when Cantor Coleman had a plane ticket booked to receive his doctorate of music from the Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion School of Sacred Music. That ceremony was delayed, and then it was delayed a little bit more. And then it was delayed a little bit more. We look forward to officially presenting the Cantor with his doctorate. But if you'll join me in wishing Dr. Coleman a mazel tov as he has earned this award. And yes, I will be referring to as that. We turn in our prayer books now to page 552. And I ask you to please rise. We begin with our prayer for the state of Israel. Avinu shebashamayim, tzur Yisrael v'go'alo, ba'arecha medinat Yisrael reishit tzmichat gulatenu, hagen aleha be'avrat chastecha, ufros aleha sukat shlomecha, ushlach orcha v'amitcha l'rosheha, sareha v'yotzeha, v'taknem be'etza tova milfanecha, v'natata shalom ba'aretz v'simchat olam le'yoshveha, v'nomar amen. Together in the English. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. As together we say, Amen. Happy birthday to Israel. We join in Hatikva, the national anthem. May God grant strength to our people. May God bless us, our families, our congregation, our community, all those who serve and protect. May God especially bless the land and people of Israel as Israel celebrates its 74th birthday. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Doc.
Oh, thank you. And we don't have to worry about the kiddos talking. It's already here.
I took a picture of it, sent it to my son.
To everyone joining us online. Shabbat Shalom. So good to see you, Sherry. Shabbat Shalom.
Nice to hear some noise. Yeah, they can't. They're not to move the camera.
John, happy birthday this month. Shabbat Shalom, Terry and Mary again. Good to see you all. Thanks for joining us. Come over here. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. See you soon.
Shabbat Shalom.